Good afternoon and welcome to the Golf Arm Stadium in Huddersfield. Engage Super League 13 officially underway tonight. This is a round one clash between the Leeds Rhinos and Huddersfield Giants. Bring you the lineups first, starting with Leeds. One change from last week. Ryan Hall comes into the starting lineup at the expense of Lee Smith, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan returns from injury. So they line up with Brent Webb at fullback, Scott Donald, Clinton Torpey, Keith Senior, Ryan Hall, Danny Maguire, Rob Burrow, Kylie Luluai, Matt Diskin, Jamie Peacock, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Gareth Ellis, and the captain Kevin Sinfield will lock the scrum. On the bench for the Rhinos, Ale Lawatiti, Ryan Bailey, Ian Kirk and Carl Ablett. And the Huddersfield line-up as follows as they come onto the pitch. Chris Thorman at fullback, Shane Elf, Paul Fatuira, Stephen Wilde, Rod Jensen, Kevin Brown, Luke Robinson, a new signing from Salford, and Gareth Ellis, who's lost the ball. He's lost that. He's just thrown it away. He's going at the end of the season to the West Tigers, and that is going to be a big blow, and it's a big error from Gareth Ellis first up and gives Huddersfield field position. Matt Diskin is asking Ian Smith about something. Jamie Jones-Buchanan has sneaked out of the pack. Brown is going to feed Thorman from... Oh, and Brown's knocked on at the base of the scrum. Oh, Leeds will get the ball back immediately again. Ironic cheers from plenty of Leeds fans who are in the southern end of the ground. That's the end that Leeds are defending. There's a decent crowd in here today. They've got four sides of the ground open. I've never seen it like this for an Huddersfield match here before. That's out under the new rules as Sinfield goes from the base of the scrum. Clinton Toopey at dummy half goes on his own, just straightens up and lifted and driven back in the tackle. Crabtree and Lacey, two of the guys in there, and the other one is somebody with a number on that's not on the team sheet. And the first penalty of the afternoon. 19's Ryan Hudson. Sinfield with the touch finder. Rhinos will start just short of halfway. Diskin starts us, finds Burrow, practices the juggling skills, gets away from a couple. This could be danger. Here's Clinton Toopey. Toopey gets the arm up and eventually puts aground by his international colleague Paul Fatuira. Burrow at dummy half finds Ellis, and Ellis driving, and here's a second penalty for the Rhinos. Offside. There's been 3 games already this weekend, 2 on the telly. There's been a lot of offside decisions given, and Leeds are going to get on with it with Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He cops one round the head for good measure, but Leeds are on the Huddersfield 20. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire back for Peacock in his special long sleeve shirt. Don't see them anymore either, do you? Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield at first receiver, pops it back for Maguire. Maguire 2 steps, pops it out to big Kylie Luluai. Luluai tries to get the legs going, but he's pulled to ground 5 metres away from the line. Diskin at dummy half, dobs a little kick in for Webb, and Brent Webb scored. Leeds are in, first try of the afternoon, 3 minutes on the clock, and it's the New Zealander Brent Webb who gets Leeds on the board on the back of 2 penalties. Diskin dabs a little kick through, and the Huddersfield defence stop, and somebody's going to get sin-binned here as well. It's Jamal Lacey, who's had a word with the referee about something. I'm sure he went in the back pocket at one stage. No, he didn't, but it was Diskin with the little kick, and Brent Webb was there to get the try. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt for the Rhinos. 15 metres in on the western side of the ground, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Golf Arm Stadium. Engage Super League 13. It's a round one clash. It's Huddersfield Giants 0, Leeds Rhinos 6. Finds Griffin, and Griffin bounced by Kevin Sinfield. Hudson at dummy half. Had a top season as Robinson clung onto by Luluai, but he's popped it out to Crabtree. Here's Brown over the top for Snitch, and Burrow there to save the day for the Rhinos. Brown at dummy half, looks the short side to Fatawira. Here's Jensen up against Webb. Jensen's got away and Jensen will score! Huddersfield are in! 10 minutes on the clock and Rod Jensen's got back in it for the Huddersfield Giants. It was a short side move. It was Brown to Fatawira. Fatawira found Jensen. Thought he was going to kick, had Brent Webb in two minds and decides to stick hold and gets his way over the line for the try. And here is Chris Solomon with the conversion attempt on the eastern side of the ground. 9 metres in from touch, kicks on its way and he's missed it. It's gone to the near side of the post. 11 minutes on the clock here at the Gulf Farm Stadium. Engage Super League 13. It's round one and it's Huddersfield Giants 4, Leeds Rhinos 6. And as Kevin Sinfield gets us back underway, it's going to bounce in front of Kevin Brown and gets it in the in goal and finds Earl Crabtree. Hudson at dummy half finds Andy Raleigh. Hudson again at dummy half, trying to catch the markers not squaring. Also using Raleigh as a bit of a foil there. Robinson at dummy half. Looks up, looks for a 40-20, but it's going to bounce once into the hands of Brent Webb. And Webb looks up, not the best chase from the Giants, and Webb will get back to the 40-metre line. Here's Donald. Oh, cops a big one from Andy Raleigh. Webb at dummy half finds Sinfield out for Luluai, and Luluai gets to bang on halfway. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow back for Ellis. Ellis doesn't go to ground immediately, and he's still going, is Gareth Ellis, and eventually he's picked up and he's been put to ground, and Leeds were penalised for that earlier. It's a bit of consistency from the referee Smith. And it's Sinfield with the touch finder, and Leeds will start about 12 metres away from the Huddersfield line with Burrow. Here's Diskin out for Peacock. Diskin at dummy half, back for Luluai. 8 metres away from the line. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire gets Webb coming in the back. Webb for Senior. And Elford did really well there on defence to bring Senior to ground. Took the gamble, did Shane Elford. Webb at dummy half finds Sinfield back for Jamie Jones Buchanan. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire looks to take the line on, and instead finds Burrow. Leeds have got numbers here, and Burrow has been collared by Kevin Brown. Fatawira looked to be late. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Maguire with the crossfield kick into the sun, looking to chase Elford, and Elford takes and immediately wrapped up by Jamie Jones Buchanan. Here's Stephen Wild. Made the test side at the end of last year, did Stephen Wild. Here's Andy Raleigh. Hudson at dummy half finds Thorman. Here's Brown back on the inside. Oh, good hit. Can't quite see who it is under there. It's Snitch. And again, Hudson looks this short side for Brown, and the pass doesn't find Fatawiran into touch, and it's going to be Leeds head and feed. And Ian Smith has ruled that the ball wasn't played at. The touch judge initially was giving the scrum to Huddersfield then. Huddersfield have made a change. Well, they haven't yet, I don't think. They won't be able to make this change while they're on defence. So Darryl Griffin's going to have to stay out there. Sinfield finds Maguire. Maguire going crossfield out for Senior. Senior up against Wild, and Senior will go to ground a couple of metres in from touch on the western side of the ground. Donald at dummy half finds Maguire. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Here is Brent Webb. Webb finds Ellis. 8 away from the line. Webb at dummy half finds Burrow. It's all opened up here for Peacock. Peacock up against Lalacy, can't get the hands free and goes to ground a couple of metres from the line. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire for Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones is over and he's scored. Jamie Jones Buchanan has scored and Leeds are in. 17 minutes on the clock, and it's a Jamie Jones Buchanan who gets the try for the Rhinos. Super positioning from Ian Smith. Pressure tells, and again he's pulling somebody out. Diskin just across the field. Jamie Jones Buchanan gets the ball and manages to get away out of Thorman's tackle to put the ball down. And Kevin Sinfield will have a slightly more difficult kick than what he had for his first attempt. Don't think the baby's arrived yet either. Kevin's about to become a father for the second time at any time now. It should have been last week, I think. I don't know. I'll find out tonight. As here is Sinfield, kicks on its way. It's got chances. No, it hasn't. It's gone across the face of the post. So with 18 and a half minutes gone here at the Gulf Farm Stadium, Engage Super League 13 round 1. It's Huddersfield Giants 4, Leeds Rhinos 10. As Chris Thorman gets us back underway, kick is high. It's going to be fielded by Maguire in the in goal, and he flings it out for Webb, and Webb will get beyond the 10 metre line. Dangerous pass that, right on your own line. Here's Peacock. The mascot's got a drum, if that's what you can hear, as Lulawai takes it in for the Rhinos. They're out of their own 20. Diskin at dummy half finds Peacock, and Peacock leans into Steve Snitch and gets a good quick play of the ball. Diskin goes from dummy half, turns, finds Maguire. Leeds have got none men this time. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan out for Senior. Senior up against Wild and Elford, and last tackle for the Rhinos. Jamie Jones Buchanan throws the dummy, looks to turn inside, can't get the ball out, and has gone into touch, and Leeds will turn the ball over 25 away from their own line. Huddersfield are looking to make a change. Ryan Hudson will go off. George Gattis will come on. I think John Scandalis has sneaked on somewhere. Yes, he has. Here is Gattis. Finds Andy Raleigh. Not the best pass and not the best tackle from Jamie Peacock. As Chris Thorman with the touch finder will get Huddersfield to just short of halfway. No sign of any movement on the Leeds bench. Here is Lalacy taking it in for the Giants. George Gaddis is trying to push a few people about. Gattis is at dummy half, finds Big Earl Crabtree, and Crabtree gets to 30 metres away from the Leeds line. Here's Gattis at dummy half, finds Brown, and Brown looks to take the Rhinos line on. Gattis again at dummy half, finds Scandalous, the former West Tiger. Gattis at dummy half, finds Robinson. Robinson out for Lalacy. Lalacy puts the dummy on, looks to take on Maguire, and he's put to ground. 8 metres short of the line. Last tackle for the Huddersfield Giants afterwards with Jamal Lalacy as the kick goes high, and Brent Webb takes it superbly well. Here's Sinfield, chance to get on with it quickly. Sinfield does get on with it quickly. Most of the Huddersfield players were offside, but they've made the 10 metres, so he can't give offside. There is an advantage. Maguire finds Ellis. Here's Burrow. Burrow goes on his own from dummy half and looks to go underneath. Jamie Peacock just giving Marion Jones the I'm okay as Ryan Bailey, who's just come onto the field for Kylie Luluai, takes it in for the Rhinos. Impressed many last week, did Ryan Bailey. Diskin at dummy half, finds Sinfield. Here's Peacock. Diskin at dummy half, finds Burrow. Here's Maguire. Maguire dabs a little kicking over the top, looking to split Thorman and Jensen. And Thorman is taken by Hall and Tupi. Fatuira at dummy half, finds Rod Jensen. Danny's knocked on. Oh, referee said he had a hand on the ball. Jensen's lost that, and the referee's given the penalty. And Huddersfield have got a big break deep in their own quarter. As Thorman with the touch finder, Huddersfield will start just short of the 40. Brown finds Snitch. Gattis at dummy half, finds Scandalis. Gattis at dummy half, gets it to Thorman. Here's Fatuira. Fatuira finds Jensen. Jensen's quick. Jensen for the corner. Oh, what a tackle from Brent Webb. Saved a certain try for the Rhinos. Oh, Jensen's quick, but Brent Webb is quicker. What a tackle from the New Zealander. Gets Jensen in at the corner, and Leeds escape. Kevin Sinfield's struggling. It's the second time. It was something that happened in midfield earlier, and Marion Jones has been there a couple of times now to Kevin Sinfield. It would be a big blow if they were to lose Sinfield. Obviously, it'll give Carl Ablett a bit more game time. He's on the bench, so there is covers. Sinfield from the base of the scrum is looking at the hand, and Leeds have lost it. Leeds have lost it. Clinton Tupi's put the ball down. Sinfield's holding his hand stroke wrist. And Leeds are playing with 12 and a half men at the moment, because there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on here in this scrum. What's going on? Robinson just about puts it in and finds Brown. Brown will take the line on his own. Sinfield takes his place in the defensive line. Here's Thorman at dummy half, finds Scandalis. Good hit from Jamie Peacock. Earl Crabtree has gone off and Keith Mason has come on. Gattis at dummy half, finds Robinson out for Jensen. Jensen is taken by Burrow, has got it out to Fatuira. Fatuira for the line. Is held up 5 metres short. Snitch at dummy half, finds Thorman, back for Mason. Mason bounced to the ground by Matt Diskin. Gattis at dummy half, finds Brown. Robinson tries to go underneath, and he's lost it. He's lost it. Knock on by Luke Robinson, and Leeds will get the scrum. Still no sign of movement on the Leeds bench. Kevin Sinfield still looking at the hand. Marion Jones is there again, and they're doing a bit of taping on the fingers. Just going to try and sneak a look at what Marion Jones is doing to Kevin Sinfield. He's strapping the hand up. He's telling Kevin Sinfield to get out of play. And it looks like the Leeds skipper will be okay to continue. Ian Kirk is on sideline, and Ian Smith has stopped something. He wants the two hookers out. This is back to the early 80s, this, when they used to pull hookers out and send them off for nothing. So we'll finally get this scrum down on the 10-metre line. Sinfield at the base finds Brent Webb, and Webb trying to get on the outside but can't. Ryan Hall will get his first taste of the football and has to get under a swinger from Fatuira. Willie Porchin's in there. He wants somebody off as Tupi goes from dummy half. Who's coming off? Diskin finds Peacock. Could be Jamie Peacock, actually. It is. Here's Bailey. Ian Kirk will come on, and Bailey is taken and driven back in the tackle. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Last tackle for the Rhinos, and Burrow just about gets it away, but it's straight down the throat of Shane Elford. Here's Thorman, and Thorman met by Ian Kirk. Here's Elford at dummy half. Gattis out for Mason. Gattis at dummy half finds Skandalis. Gattis at dummy half finds Robinson. Robinson puts the little kick in over the top. The in goals are big here, and Brent Webb's forced to put it out. Ryan Bailey's taken somebody late as well. It's the kicker, it's Robinson who's been taken late. No sign of any touch judges on the pitch. And Ian Smith is... What's he doing? He must be, his battery pack must be there so he can hear what's going on. He's done that a lot. Chris Thorman is trying to have a word with Ian Smith about something. Ian Smith's telling him to get on with it. Keith Senior's having his two penneth. Kevin Sinfield's getting more treatment. Ian Smith's now telling Keith Senior to shut up, and Kevin Sinfield will perform the goal line dropout where it's taken by Gattis. Here's Skandalis. Root Robinson's back on his feet somewhere. Gattis at dummy half finds Brown, and again they're coming this way. Here's Thorman in round the back. Thorman pops it out to Jensen. Jensen drops it, and Maguire's away. Maguire's away. Here's Ryan Hall, and Ryan Hall collected from behind by Rod Jensen. Jensen is probably the quickest man in Super League. Here's Tupi. Tupi had Senior on his shoulder but decided to stick hold. Burrow at dummy half finds Bailey. And it must have been Bailey who took Robinson out because they're all booing him on the far side. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Sinfield, pops it out for Ian Kirk. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Sinfield, out for Webb. Webb looks up, immediately wrapped up by Steve Snitch. Sinfield at dummy half. Comes the near side, and Maguire pops it up for Ellis. Ellis looks to turn, does, finds Maguire. Maguire pops a little kick in, looking for Webb, and Brent Webb will score. Leeds are in, 30 minutes on the clock, and it came from the offload by Gareth Ellis. Finds Danny Maguire. Maguire puts the little kick through, and it's Brent Webb to collect his second try of the afternoon. Now, as Kevin Sinfield's waiting for this goal kick, Marion Jones is applying about 3 yards of strapping onto his hand. Look at all this strapping going on here. Time's off, by the way. Here, yeah, there's it could be a wrist, you know. Might have one of them by next week. He's going to get on with the goal kick now. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt on the black dot, and the flags are up here at the Gulf Farm Stadium. Engage Super League 13. We're at the round 1 stage. It's Huddersfield Giants 4, Leeds Rhinos 16. 2 changes for the Rhinos. Carl Ablett and Ali Lawatiti have come on, and it's the second row pairing of Jamie Jones and Gareth Ellis who have gone to sideline. As Chris Thorman gets us back underway, kick is high. It's going to be fielded on the goal line by Maguire. Here's Ian Kirk. And that's a decent run from Ian Kirk. Diskin at dummy half, goes to short side, and Ablett. And here's a penalty for a grapple tackle. Even Carl Ablett was asking for that. And it's George Gaddis who has been penalised for it. And it's Sinfield with the touch finder, and Leeds will start on the 40-metre line. Burrow at dummy half, finds Diskin. Diskin with a dummy, opens up for Diskin. Oh, Maguire was hunting but just couldn't get the ball away. Burrow at dummy half, goes on his own, looking to get through the big men, gets under Snitch but doesn't get under Scandalis. Diskin at dummy half, finds Maguire out for Clinton Tupy, and Tupy will straighten up back into midfield. Diskin at dummy half's gone the wrong way. Mason looks offside as Diskin finds Sinfield. Sinfield through the gap, just can't get the offload. Caught one in the mush for his troubles there. Webb at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire going crossfield, pops it back out to Webb. Here's Burrow. Burrow with a long pass for Clinton Tupy. Tupy pops it back to Ryan Hall, and Brown there. Hall allowed to carry on. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Burrow at dummy half finds Webb. Webb dabs a little kick into the in goal, and it's booted dead by Luke Robinson, and Leeds will get a repeat set. News coming in from Craven Park. St Helens beaten grand finalists 16-0 down at the moment. As Thorman with the dropout, it's a beauty. It's gone 60 metres that, and it's picked up by Ian Kirk. Kirk will run it back at Mason and Raleigh. Maguire at dummy half finds Lawatiti, the big man's first action this afternoon. Diskin at dummy half finds Bailey. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow back for Webb. Webb gets it out for Tupy, and that pass has been ruled forward by referee Ian Smith. Prem Webb's not happy. Did that look forward, Russ? You're normally honest, more honest than me. You weren't watching? Oh, Brown will feed the scrum. Here is Thorman. Change is about to come for the Giants. Here's Stephen Wild. And it's Jamal Alessi who's going to sideline, and Ryan Hudson will sneak back on. Gattis at dummy half finds Scandalis. Here's Mason. Gattis again at dummy half finds Hudson, who's gone to loose forward now. Gattis at dummy half will kick, and Brent Webb, super position, takes it on the full. Webb looks up, sees a big claret and gold wall, and a few mutterings from the Leeds fans in the south stand. Here's Donald at dummy half finds Senior. Scott Donald at dummy half goes on his own. Diskin now finds Ian Kirk. Kirk spins out the first challenge but just falls into Skandalis. Not the best play of the ball it's ended up for. Diskin pops it back to Ablett. Ablett looking to get the arms free. Does, and it's gone straight to Paul Fatuira. Hudson at dummy half. Finds Snitch. Here's a penalty for offside. It's one of the easier ones that Ian Smith's had to give this afternoon. As Thorman with the touch finder. Leeds really don't want to be conceding this close to half time, as Brown finds Gattis. Here's Skandalis. Gattis at dummy half finds Robinson. Short pass for Hudson. Gattis at dummy half finds Mason. Gattis again at dummy half finds Brown. Brown out for Thorman. Thorman for Fatuira. Fatuira has just about stayed in touch. Now he's gone in touch. And what's the decision going to be here? He's given a penalty to Huddersfield. And Huddersfield will take it back a couple of metres. Here's Thorman. Finds Snitch. Gattis at dummy half finds Robinson. Robinson out for Hudson. Hudson trying to get on the outside of Maguire. Pops it back out to Stephen Wild, and Wild will go to ground 5 metres away from touch. Hudson at dummy half finds Robinson. Robinson for Gattis. Here's Brown. Brown with the step. Brown didn't lose it, didn't get it, and Carl Ablett almost tried to steal the ball one-on-one. Only one marker. Gattis looks to take advantage. Finds Robinson with the little kick in, looking for Hudson. And it's gone dead. It's gone dead. And Leeds survive. Good call from the in-goal touch judge. As Diskin finds Lawatiti. Lawatiti turns, pops it out to Ryan Hall, who is in support, and Ryan Hall's in the clear. Ryan Hall for the line. Jensen's coming from nowhere. Hall for the corner, will score. Superb breakaway try from the Rhinos. All come from the 20-metre restart. It was Lawatiti who gets away, and like any good winger, Ryan Hall's on his shoulder, and he just about manages to outpace Rod Jensen to get in at the corner. That could be crucial. 8 seconds left at half time, and maybe Ryan Hall's just put this game to bed for the Rhinos. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt of the try by Ryan Hall. 10 metres in from this eastern side of the ground. Kicks on its way, and there's the hoot of a half time. Flags are up. It's half time here in this Engage Super League 13 match. We're at the round 1 stage. It's Leeds Rhinos 22, Huddersfield Giants 4. Stick with us. We'll be back with the second half action shortly. And welcome back to the second half here at the McAlpine Stadium. Leeds 22 points to 4 to the good. Oh, it's the Gal Farm, innit? Yeah, sorry, old habits and all that. As Kevin Sinfield gets us underway for the second half, taken by Gattis deep in the in goal. Finds Skandalis. Latest score from Craven Park is 16-6 in favour of Hull KR now. St Helens have hit back as Mason takes it in for the Giants. Gattis at dummy half finds Hudson. Hudson cops a high one from Maguire there. Gattis at dummy half finds Andy Raleigh. Kevin Sinfield's definitely got a problem with something. The wrist is strapped up. Last tackle for the Giants. Thorman just dabs the kick in over the top, where it's going to be fielded by Brent Webb about 7 metres away from his line. Nearly gets away from the challenge of Kevin Brown. Tupy at dummy half goes on his own and gets 25 metres away from the line. Webb at dummy half finds Ian Kirk, and Kirk gets a hefty one from Keith Mason. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield out for Bailey. Bailey did well to collect that. Tried to turn, but Andy Raleigh was there to finish him off. Burrow at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire puts the dummy on, doesn't fool Gattis. Maguire almost looking for the offload. Ablett was pushing through. Here's Diskin at dummy half on the last tackle. Sinfield will just drive it all down along the ground. Good kick from Kevin Sinfield. It's taken by Rocket Rod Jensen, and Jensen finds Foreman, and oohs and ahs from the Giants fans down below us. Jensen at dummy half will go on his own, finds Kevin Brown out for Fatuira, and Fatuira well taken to ground by Ryan Hall. Brown at dummy half finds Snitch. Gattis at dummy half finds Scandalis. And somebody's down in back play. It could be Fatuira, it is, and he's limping. Here's Mason. Mason for Raleigh, and Raleigh just collected by Lauatiti on halfway. Last tackle for the Giants. Gattis finds Robinson, and Robinson dinks the kick over the top. It's no good though. It's straight down the throat of Brent Webb. Donald at dummy half goes on his own and cross field. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Here's Ian Kirk, 2 out. Tupy at dummy half goes on his own. Clinton Tupy turns, looks to offload, but decides to stick hold. Diskin is the dummy half, finds Ryan Bailey. Bailey trying to play the ball quickly, does on the last tackle for Diskin. Here's Sinfield. Sinfield's kick is straight down the throat of Shane Elford, and Elford looks up, but it's a decent chase, and it's Sinfield and Diskin who lead the way, and they're trying to put the shove on. Ian Smith shouting held. Thorman at dummy half goes on his own. Both the markers went the same way. And here's a penalty. It's against Ian Kirk, I think, for holding down. And it's going to be Chris Thorman with the touch finder for the Giants. They'll start just short of halfway, with Kevin Brown. Temperature dropping rapidly here at the Gal Farm Stadium as Steve Snitch takes it in. Here's Gattis at dummy half. Scandalis out for Mason, and Mason trying to fight his way away from Sinfield. Good quick play of the ball. Here's Gattis from dummy half. Gattis has popped it out to Robinson. Robinson trying to get away from Lauatiti but can't, and Huddersfield suddenly 10 away from the line. Leeds look a little disorganised. Here's Brown, and Ryan Hall's intercepted. Ryan Hall, it's a foot race. He's got ahead of Jensen. Ryan Hall for the line. Hall, can he make it? Stephen Wild's coming across, but Ryan Hall gets his second try of the game. 44 minutes on the clock. Huddersfield look certain scorers, and Ryan Hall has picked the pass of Kevin Brown and gone 95 metres for his second try of the game. And if the game wasn't over, it surely is now. Leeds are going to go back to the top of Engage Super League tonight. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt of the second Ryan Hall try of the afternoon. Here is Sinfield, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Gal Farm Stadium. Engage Super League 13, round 1. It's Huddersfield Giants 4, Leeds Rhinos 28. Referee took a tumble in the build up to that try as well. And he's just I wouldn't like to say what it looks like he's doing. Family show and all that. He's Definitely rubbing something. As Chris Thorman gets his underway kick, is short into midfield. Lauatiti does really well to collect that, and he will now straighten up into Mason and Hudson. Maguire at dummy half finds Bailey. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow, out for Ian Kirk. Burrow at dummy half finds Lauatiti, and Lauatiti fighting to keep going, gets to just short of the 40-metre line. Senior at dummy half goes on his own and across field. Last tackle, Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire, and Maguire will just dab it over the top, and it's a good kick. It's turned Thorman, it's sat up in the in goal. Here's the cavalry. Ablett's charging away with Tupi, and they're trying to get him back in goal, and it's a penalty. Second effort ruled on Carl Ablett. Huddersfield are trying to get the two props off, Mason and Skandalis. And Ian Smith's trying to make sure that all the Huddersfield players are on side. Super kick, super chase though. And it's Crabtree and Darryl Griffin who will come back on for the Giants for Skandalis and Keith Mason. As Brown finds Snitch. Gattis at dummy half finds Griffin. Griffin's popped it out to Crabtree. Crabtree did really well to take that, and he's hauled to ground by Matt Diskin. Gattis at dummy half finds Andy Raleigh, and Lauatiti there to wrap up the danger. Gattis at dummy half finds Robinson, and Robinson dabs a little kick in over the top. Is that one going to sit up? Is it going to sit up? Yes, it has. Brent Webb forced to get out of the end goal, and does. Senior at dummy half finds Scott Donald. And Donald gets the Rhinos 12 metres away from their own line. Webb at dummy half finds Senior. Diskin at dummy half finds Ablett. And movement on the Leeds bench. Jamie Peacock is coming to sideline. Here's Diskin, pops it out for Bailey. Bailey looking to get away from Wild but can't. And Stephen Wild still got hold of him. And here's a penalty. No, here's a knock on against Ryan Bailey. But Stephen Wild hasn't cleared the ruck. Ryan Bailey's trying to play the ball, and he's gone and given a knock on. It's very, very contentious, that area, isn't it? Stephen Wild's not cleared the... well, we'll get on with it. There's a scrum. As Robinson from the base of the scrum finds Thorman. Here's Fatuira. Played here in the test match last October, as Thorman finds Crabtree. Bailey came rushing out of the line there for Earl Crabtree. As the Leeds fans find their voice, here's Gattis finds Griffin. Griffin lost his footing. There was football played on here yesterday. Hudson's gone off. Here's Brown. Back again for Fatuira. It's not Fatuira, it's Snitch that's under there. Here's Gattis, finds Robinson, and Maguire's done really well to get to Luke Robinson. Last tackle for the Giants. Gattis at dummy half will kick crossfield, looking to test Ryan Hall, and Hall does really well to take it and really well to stay in the field of play. Here's Tupi. And Tupi not as lot as offloaded it. Oh, pick it up somebody. Maguire does. And Maguire will surrender into the tackle. Jamie Peacock's come back on. Ryan Bailey sneaked off round the back of the in goal. Here's Webb out for Lauatiti. Leeds looking to go from deep. Webb at dummy half finds Peacock his first action back in the game. Diskin at dummy half finds Ablett. Ablett pops it back to Diskin. Here's Maguire. Maguire straightens up, finds Sinfield. Sinfield didn't have any support, but it's good work from the Rhinos. Last tackle on the 40. Sinfield looking for a penalty, doesn't get it. Maguire is outside the 40, will bounce along the ground for Thorman, traps on the foot, 15 away from his own line, and it's Diskin with a chase. And Maguire's going to get penalised for that. I think he genuinely lost his footing, but lost his footing in the wrong place. As Thorman puts it on. Did you hear what the stadium announcer said then? He said Kevin Sinfield instead of Kevin Brown. Here's Gattis. Gattis finds Crabtree. Oh, Crabtree's got a big one from Lauatiti. Whoa, what a tackle from the New Zealander. It was round the shoulder as Daryl Griffin takes it in for the Giants. Felt that one up here as Gattis finds Robinson. Here's Lalacy into the line, looks for Wild. Wild will straighten up, plenty of blue and amber there to meet him. Elford gets to dummy half, of course. They're without David Hodgson, the Giants, signed him from Salford in the close season, got injured in pre-season and is not due back until the end of July, possibly August. Here's Gattis at dummy half, finds Thorman. Thorman with the dummy, drops the shoulder, doesn't fool Kevin Sinfield. Last tackle for the Giants. Here's Robinson. Robinson looks to straighten up, gets it out to Lalacy. Lalacy lost it backwards. Wild has lost it. Here's Diskin. Here's a chance. Diskin. Oh, he had Webb on his inside and decides to stick hold and go to ground. Maguire at dummy half finds Clinton Tupy. Tupy pops it back for Senior. Senior looking up with Crabtree, pops it back to Webb. Champagne football from the Rhinos. Webb going crossfield, looks to straighten up and does into Stephen Wild. Diskin's gone off. Jamie Jones has come back on. Here's Tupy run around with Donald, and Donald straightens up into the Huddersfield line. 35 away from the line. Jamie Jones at dummy half finds Peacock. And Peacock gets into the Giants 20. Burrow at dummy half. Comes this side and Maguire. Here's Webb into the line out for Senior. Senior up against Wild, and Senior goes to ground on the 10-metre line. Jamie Jones at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire dabs it in, but it's been trapped off the foot by Andy Raleigh. Good work from the former Hull KR man. As Elford goes from dummy half. Leroy Cudjoe, the academy man, goes from dummy half. Gattis up the short side. Lalacy at dummy half finds Crabtree. Play the ball was slow, pass was slow, and Crabtree had nowhere to go on halfway. More movement on the Rhinos bench. Kylie Luluai has the card in his hand, and the kick is high from Thorman, looking to test Webb, and Webb fields well and gets away from the first challenge, but not the second one of Griffin. Gareth Ellis is one. Here's Tupy, goes from dummy half. Lauatiti has gone to sideline. Ellis has come back on. Ian Kirk goes to sideline, and Kylie Luluai comes back on. Here's Ryan Hall, 2 tries today so far. Burrow at dummy half, goes on his own. Rob Burrow pops it out to Sinfield. Sinfield puts the little step on, pops it out to Maguire. Maguire looking for Donald. Donald will cut back infield. Donald still going crossfield, runs straight into George Gattis. Jamie Jones at dummy half finds Peacock. Here's Webb. Webb with a long pass for Tupi. Tupi pops it back. Tupi with a dummy. Tupi for the corner. Flings it back straight into the hands of Steve Snitch and Jamie Jones. It's been knocked on by Thorman. Thorman still moving. Oh, it's a right schmozzle. What a dummy from Clinton Tupi. He fooled me. As Kudjoe finds Jensen. Gattis out for Robinson. They're looking to go from deep with Lelacey. Lelacey gets it out for Elford. Elford up against Donald. Good tackle from Scott Donald. Wild at dummy half finds Lelacey. Gattis at dummy half finds Crabtree out for Mason. It is Mason, that, isn't it? Sneak back on. It's not, it's Griffin. As Thorman puts the kick in downfield, it's going to sit nicely. And Ryan Hall will field. He's just moved into the fullback role temporarily. Brent Webb at dummy half finds Sinfield. Webb at dummy half finds Clinton Tupi. Jamie Jones at dummy half finds Peacock. And Peacock gets to just short of halfway. Jamie Jones playing at dummy half, looks for Burrow. Burrow misses Maguire. Burrow straightens up, spins round 2, gets round Crabtree for 3, and eventually takes 3 of them to bring him to ground. Jamie Jones at dummy half, last tackle for the Rhinos. Here's Maguire, round 1, gets it out for Ablett. Ablett pops it up for Sinfield. Sinfield dabs a little kick for Ryan Hall, and it's gone out, and it'll be a scrum down. Hull 22, Saints 12 is the latest from Craven Park. And Huddersfield trying to put 8 men in the scrum, 7 men in the scrum. And they're also trying to make us change. Ian Smith's on the whistle again. And Ian Smith blows the whistle again. They're trying to tidy the scrums up, aren't they? It's not working. Thorman from the base finds Kudjoe. Snitch is going off. Rally's going off. Brown comes back on. And Ryan Hudson comes back on. Robinson at dummy half finds Crabtree. Gattis at dummy half finds Thorman. Here's Brown. Gattis again at dummy half, pops it back for Thorman, and Ian Smith's looking, and he's got it now. It's going to be giving us a knock on. He was waiting for the call from the touch judge, from Mr. Stokes on the far side, and it's ruled it's come off the arm of Chris Thorman. Not turned floodlights on yet, it's just starting to go a bit. It's got a lot colder though, hasn't it, this second half. Sinfield from the base finds Maguire. Maguire pops it up for Senior. Senior on the charge, trying to get out of the challenge of Robinson. And it's taken 4 Huddersfield Giants to bring him to ground. Webb at dummy half finds Sinfield out for Peacock. Peacock, just couldn't get the offload. Leeds are on a bit of a roll with Burrow. Back for Big Kylie. Here's Webb out for Maguire. Maguire has given himself up, and it's going to be a penalty for obstruction. and Huddersfield are going to get on with it with Chris Thorman. Robinson finds Lalacy. Gattis at dummy half finds Crabtree. Gattis at dummy half finds Lalacy. Gattis at dummy half finds Thorman. Thorman out for Leroy Cudjoe. Here's Gattis at dummy half. Coming crossfield back for Robinson. Robinson trying to get on the outside of Peacock and does. Pops it out for Hudson, and Ryan Halls knocks it down, and Huddersfield will get a second set of 6. So Huddersfield will get this scrum on the 20-metre line. Ian Smith again. He's telling Ryan Hudson to stick his head in the scrum, penalise him. It's out. Here's Hudson from the base. Finds Robinson. Robinson straightens up, and Luke Robinson's going to score for the Huddersfield Giants. 63 minutes on the clock, and Luke Robinson gets a debut try for the Huddersfield Giants. Puts the step on. It's Gareth Ellis who's taken the bait, and he goes in untouched. As Thorman with the conversion, tags the extras on. 16 minutes left here at the Gulf Farm Stadium. Engage Super League 13. It's Huddersfield Giants 10, Leeds Rhinos 28. It's 22-16 now at Craven Park. Wakefield 10, Bradford 6 is the latest. That's kicked off half an hour afterwards as Cudjoe takes the kick-off. Here's Mason. Gattis at dummy half. Finds Earl Crabtree. Gattis at dummy half. Finds Hudson. Here's Gattis. Finds Lalacy. Here's Gattis at dummy half. Finds Robinson out for Leroy Cudjoe. He played in that academy game last season that finished 102-4 to the Rhinos, as Gattis will kick from dummy half straight down the throat of Brent Webb. Not a good kick. Webb will tip it off for Donald. Donald, whoa, what a hit from George Gattis. Oh, Scott Donald went backwards then. Here's Webb, finds Ryan Hall. Webb at dummy half, finds Luluai. Luluai has lost it, and it's going to be given as a knock-on against Kylie Luluai. Brent Webb isn't happy with the decision, and now it's going to be a penalty against Brent Webb. And the Huddersfield Giants fans are possibly sensing something. Here's Crabtree. Gareth Ellis has got a knock. Gareth Ellis has got a knock in there, and Crabtree's lost it. Gareth Ellis has picked a knock up in there though, and he's holding the face. I think he's just checking the teeth as well, Gareth Ellis. He's putting his head in the scrum. Here's Burrow from the base. Sinfield will go for Maguire on the short side. Senior at dummy half, goes on his own, pops it back for Ellis. Ellis lifted in the tackle and driven back. And Ellis eventually put to ground by Ryan Hudson. Here's Jamie Jones. Leeds are looking to make a change. It's looking like Kevin Sinfield who's going off. Here's Peacock. Gets to just short of halfway. Matt Diskin will come on. Burrow at dummy half finds Luluai, who gets the Rhinos over halfway. Burrow at dummy half finds Maguire on the last tackle, and Maguire was taken out a little late. It wasn't that bad. Here's Jensen. Oh, good hit from Carl Ablett on Jensen, and Jensen now being driven back in the tackle. Cudjoe at dummy half. Gets it out. Can't see who that is. It's Fatawira who's swapped sides. Here is Leroy Cudjoe again at dummy half. Gattis at dummy half. Finds Griffin for Thorman. Here's Robinson. Big Fijian, and it's been reeled forward by the referee. And Jamal Alesi was nearly having a go at the touch judge there, and he's had 2 pops at the referee already, Jamal Alesi. Ian Smith's telling him to put it down on the mark, or else he's not going to stop the clock. And they've got about 7 men in there, and Ian Smith will eventually call time off. Burrow will feed the scrum. Jamie Jones from the base finds Senior. Webb at dummy half finds Peacock. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow going crossfield and straightening up. Oh, and he's lost it. He's lost it, Rob Burrow, in there. Just had it knocked loose by Ryan Hudson. Huddersfield still think they can get something from this game. They are rushing to get packed down. As Robinson will feed. Here's Thorman. Cudjoe at dummy half. Gets it out for Kevin Brown, and Brown cops a big one from Jamie Jones. Gattis at dummy half finds Crabtree. This was a part of the game last week when Leeds became very dominant. Floodlights are now on as Gattis finds Griffin. Gattis from dummy half goes on his own, and Gattis has lost it. And it's going to be play on Kylie Luluai, who's forced a turnover in there. Maguire at dummy half finds Ablett. Carl Ablett's had significant increase on his game time this week. Here's Diskin, finds Peacock. Burrow at dummy half. Comes to the near side, and Webb for Senior. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Ellis. Ellis the short pass for Jamie Jones. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Maguire. Maguire will look up. Maguire will step. Maguire for the line. It's held up a metre or so short. Diskin at dummy half. Puts the little kick in. It's been knocked on. Take your pick. And Leeds are going to get another set of 6. Knock on, offside. There was a bit of everything in there then. As Ian Smith again telling the Leeds players to get their head in the scrum. Jamie Jones from the base finds Maguire back for Webb. Here's Maguire, opened up all of a sudden. Maguire for the line, has not got it down. He's been held up, Danny Maguire. Good defence from the Huddersfield Giants. And Danny Maguire will go to the 10-metre line. Donald at dummy half finds Ellis. Ellis back for Burrow. Burrow. Leeds were just a little bit too flat there. Diskin at dummy half finds Peacock. Peacock with 1 step, 2 steps. Offloads to Webb. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. And Jamie Jones will straighten up. Leeds fans behind the post complaining about the tackle. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow for Peacock. Ellis was coming charging in for that, and Peacock looks to keep going and goes to ground 5 metres away from the line. Diskin at dummy half on the bounce for Maguire. Maguire puts a little kick in for Donald, and it's just kicked dead by Leroy Cudjoe, and Leeds will get a 3rd set of 6 at the Huddersfield line. Just over 7 minutes left on the stadium clock. Leeds still lead by 28 points to 10. Andy Raleigh has come back on for Darryl Griffin. Here's big Kylie Luluai winding it up, and big contact with Ryan Hudson. Here's Burrow at dummy half. Finds Maguire back for Ian Kirk. Kirk turns for Maguire. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan trying to get on the outside of Fatawira but can't. Tupy at dummy half finds Peacock. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow back for Webb. Webb gets it to Maguire. Maguire with a dummy back for Senior, and Senior can't take it in. And Leroy Cudjoe will recover for the Giants, and Ian Smith's nearly took another tumble. Wild at dummy half finds Andy Raleigh. And Raleigh got away from 1, got away from 2. Oh, and Thorman's put the pass down, and Brent Webb will collect. Big chance here for the Rhinos. Webb looking for a hat-trick, pops it back to Burrow. Burrow looking for support, will spin and turn. Leeds are 5 away from the line. That's a 0 tackle as well. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Webb. Webb for Ellis. Ellis does really well to hang on, trying to get away from Crabtree and Robinson, and Ellis will be held a couple of metres short. Ball's come out. It's been knocked out, and it's a penalty to the Rhinos. And Danny Maguire wants to keep going. No kicking tee on the way. Leeds are going to keep going with Diskin. Hang on, what's the decision? Danny Maguire, and it's going to be 2 points. Leeds are going to settle for what they've got. It's going to take it to a 4-score margin, and surely that'll put the game beyond doubt. Now, last week, in exactly the same situation, they carried on. With Kevin Sinfield taking a breather on sideline, Rob Burrow is going to get the kicking duties. Ian Smith's telling them all to get back. Jamie Peacock and Kylie Luluai are pretty confident there. Almost back at the goal line. Huddersfield fans are leaving below us. They're streaming out down below us. Here's Burrow with the penalty. Kicks on its way. 4.5 minutes left here. Engage Super League 13, round 1. It's Huddersfield Giants 10, Leeds Rhinos 30.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our main partner at the Giants, the University of Huddersfield, and today's match sponsor, Penine Pneumatic Services Limited, and today's match ball sponsor, Lessons. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for, and we made the attendance record.
Here's Thorman with the short kick-off, and it's well taken by Brent Webb. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Jamie Jones Buchanan. Here's Diskin, 5. Peacock for Maguire. Maguire's in the clear. We'll put the little kick in. Danny Maguire's been absolutely, utterly cleaned out. And Ian Smith is going to give a goal line dropout. He's given a goal line dropout. The Leeds fans think he's given a penalty try. All he's done is given a goal line dropout. I think he's ruled it was shoulder to shoulder, but I'd like to have seen it with a video referee, because that would have gone upstairs, definitely. Here's Thorman with the goal line dropout. It's pretty long, it's going to bounce, and Ryan Hall will collect. And Hall will straighten up and gets caught with a high shot from Gattis and Kevin Brown. And they'll go for goal again here, surely. They did last time. Get it in the corner. And Maguire will put it in the corner. And Leeds will go for 6. As Ryan Hall gives it to Maguire. Maguire finds Diskin. Here's Luluai. Luluai will be held up a couple of metres short of the line. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow back for Peacock. Peacock will twist and get 8 metres away from the line. Diskin at dummy half. Goes on his own, finds Maguire for Webb. Not the best pass, and Fatawira will intercept. Here's Jensen. Jensen gets away from Ryan Hall. He's got Tupi in front of him. Back inside for Fatawira, and Ryan Hall recovers to make the tackle. Less than 2 minutes left on the stadium clock as Thorman finds Andy Raleigh. We will try and get a score from Craven Park as Raleigh and Diskin have a bit of a wrestle. Gattis at dummy half finds Thorman. Here's Robinson, short pass for Jamal Lalesi. And Lalesi takes 3 of them to get him to ground. Here's Crabtree. Kirk at dummy half finds Brown. Brown out for Cudjoe, but Maguire was out of the line quickly. And Leroy Cudjoe's got it out for Kevin Brown. Last tackle for the Giants. Here's Thorman. Thorman's going to go high. It's come off the outside of the boot. And Scott Donald will juggle and put it down. And we'll come back for a scrum. .30 seconds left on the stadium clock. Plenty of movement outside, Russ. You can see out of the stadium here, 2-point ball game. It's 24-22 now at Craven Park as Thorman puts the kick in, looking for Jensen, and Ryan Hall is well aware of it and lets it roll over the line. And it's still Wakefield 10, Bradford 6. And we've gone over 80 minutes on the clock. And nobody's in any rush. Leeds fans are expecting a siren. There it goes, full time here at the Galfarm Stadium. Leeds begin their away campaign in Super League 13 with a victory. Only there were 2 tries in the second half. Ryan Hall's 95-metre special and 1 for Luke Robinson. Overall, 2 tries for Ryan Hall, 2 for Brent Webb, 1 for Jamie Jones-Buchanan, 4 goals for Kevin Sinfield, a goal for Rob Burrow. And that's it, full time here at the Galfarm Stadium. We're back on Friday night, a trip to Bellevue to take on the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Your pictures by Russell Callahan, and from me, Matthew Horton. It's good afternoon.